After the last falling out, I didn't want to go back. And got a lawyer ready to get the house and my dad's settlement back. Back then, before Dad died unexpectedly, he had the foresight to put all the property in my name. But since I was underage, it was all under Mom's care, and now it's not too hard to get it back. It still takes time, but the last thing I need right now is patience. So when one of my classmates said my grandmother was looking for me, I was still a little confused. A classmate on the side looked at my thin arms and legs and couldn't help but warn, "Jane, that old lady looks fierce, you have to be careful." I tickled the corners of my mouth and said, "Good. My father was an orphan and had no relatives, so where did he get a grandmother? That would have to be." In the doorway stood a short, snobby-eyed old lady, none other than Grandma Wilson, as expected. She scanned me in disgust and said, "Tisk, you're a drag queen with a great life. It's a sin that you haven't been abducted for so many years, and that you can still be found." This old lady was as obnoxious as her mean face, and she despised Rachel and hated me for being a drag as well. She was the only one in the family who didn't call me Jane, and she used to point at me and curse me, saying that I wasn't related to her family, that I was a drag who didn't deserve their family name. Later, she had taken Leah and I for a while, and those days were arguably even harder. Shortly after that, I was dropped by Paul. It's not hard to guess that she definitely had a hand in discarding me back then. I scanned back at her as well and said coldly, "What are you doing here? Something's going on, if not I'm leaving." Grandma Wilson was instantly enraged and was about to slap her over. "Is this the way you speak to me? You've hardened your wings. Little bitch, let's see if I don't teach you a lesson." Grandma Wilson used to do a lot of farm work and hit extremely hard. In the old days she was almost a nightmare for me. But after all these years, I've grown up and she's gotten older, and when I grabbed her hand and pushed it back, she lost the battle. You. Her eyes widened as she pointed at me, unable to speak. "This old lady is a habitually faceless, this is again the school entrance." I held back the evil anger in my heart, once again asked, "Do you have something?" "Nothing, I'll leave." Seeing me make a gesture to leave, Grandma Wilson then remembered Leah's instructions. Before she left and stopped lying down to touch the porcelain, holding her breath. "Wait, Leah's boyfriend is coming over for dinner today, you're part of the family, come along." Leah's boyfriend? I remembered, it was the Mr. Hemmings that Leah had said made her proud at home. However, I had just made a scene, and Leah was bound to not want me there. Figuring that for some reason the so-called Mr. Hemmings knew of my existence. And they rushed the ducks and had to call me along. In which case, I rubbed my chin in interest and said, "I'll go."